some technical issues. So anyway, welcome to the webinar. I'm Kyle from magecloud.net, and we're also the founders of magecloud.agency also. So I'm joined by the wonderful guys at Unbxd. My colleague Ram Vivek is going to join us as well. So Ram, if you'd like to give a little intro to yourself.
Thanks, Kyle. Hello, everyone. I'm Ram Vivek. I'm a product manager here at Unbxd. I want to use this opportunity to introduce Unbxd to you first. Unbxd is a 10-year-old company specializing in product discovery solution for e-commerce as an industry. We have 4 primary pillars of product, search being the most important and prominent one. We also have browse for powering category pages and also recommendations. All these 3 products caters to increasing conversions across a shopper's website journey. We also have Unboxed PIM, which stands for Product Information Management, as 4th product. We have been able to provide world-class search solution to various customers across globe, and we hope to continue the same. And in the later stage of the webinar, we'll be doing a demo of our onboarding feature at the end. For now, over to you, Kyle. I think you can continue with the presentation.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed as well. I meant to mention, Vivek, Ram, you guys have had 10 million of investment recently. So tell us a little bit about what your plans are to do with that to improve your artificial intelligence search solution.
So this was the last round of funding that we received. And this is primarily focused on expanding our horizon to the bottom of the pyramid customers, SMB, and early online retailers. We have mostly been focused on enterprise customers in the past. And as a result of this funding, we want to provide a easy, seamless process for e-commerce companies to onboard and use the solution that Unbxd is providing, which has a lot of AI capabilities.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you for that, Ram. I'm going to move on now to the table of contents. So through this webinar, it's based as a sort of informal chat about why search is important, some of our experiences as developers, like what we found the best practices, what converts the best, the future of search, and stuff Kyle. Like that. So here's a table of the contents. If you'd like to have a quick read, this is what we're going to be discussing in the webinar, and hopefully it will appeal to anyone, vendors or developers. You'll get some sort of insight to why search is really important and how you can really take advantage of the power of search really as well. So, and also at the end, we're going to give away some free extension codes for Magento and also answer any questions that anyone may have. So let's get on with it. I've already said who this is aimed at. It's e-commerce store managers, developers who are advising clients on search solutions. What is e-commerce site search? This is just a quick definition to sort of set the scene. An e-commerce site search solution is a search engine that is either built in or integrated to your online store. And its job is to find the products the user is looking for by matching the user's keywords with the products in your store. Site search encompasses more than just a search box. It also refers to faceted search, product ranking, and synonym management. Hopefully that wasn't too technical for anyone. I'm going to try speaking in simple terms here. Why is it important? So basically, users are 7 to 10 times more likely to convert on your website when they're using search, because generally they know what they're looking for. And on average, search takes between 10 and 40% of all of your users. And people care about search, although they take it for granted, because as we know, we have it in abundance with Google Search, Amazon Search, eBay, and any other website. It's pretty much a something that's like expected, but they can be really frustrated if it doesn't work correctly, as we'll touch on the default Magento searches in the future slides. Also, it's important because search allows users to find what they're looking for fast, with convenience and less hassle as well. And the golden rule as well, guys, if users can't find it, they can't buy it. So I mean, you want to make it easy as possible for people to be able to buy off your website, because ultimately they'll turn into returning customers. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys some examples here. about e-commerce store search best practices. So moving on to the first slide. So the first thing that's important is you should make the search box very easily visible. So either in the middle or the top right-hand corner is the usual place that search is. Make it a big bold box with your search icon, so it's pretty obvious what it is. So for example, on this slide I'm showing you, you notice here in the top right-hand corner, it's a very prominent box for the search. The next one, take care of the search box and the UI. So for instance, have a nice placeholder there and make the placeholder descriptive. So search the entire store here, search product SKU here, search category here. There should be a clear search button. I know these things sound very, very simple, but they're very important. So either a magnifying glass or the word search or go would be another example. And also as well, if you have a lot of categories on your website, I would definitely recommend to have like a category search as well. And it doesn't have to take up too much space. I mean, this one's pretty big, but you get the idea that it's pretty obvious what this is here. Okay. So, So also as well, some of the best practices here is to take care of your search analytics. Now, imagine if you sell books, and this applies to sort of any e-commerce store as well. So in this example, imagine if you sell books and the latest title, for instance, say Harry Potter, you notice that it's getting a lot of hits. And really, you don't want people to, if you don't stock this product, you don't want to be missing out on the sales. So what you can do is take some time to look at the top search results and see if some of these products you don't stock, well, you know to stock them, and that can make a better experience for your customers, and it allows you to adapt to the market as well. So that's a really, really important thing with search is to take care of the study analytics. Also as well, with some services such as Unboxd, this one examples from Unboxd, you can really see what products in the search that are appealing to the users. So you can take some information from that. Maybe they have a very clear picture. It could be a number of things, but definitely take care of the search analytics. Another thing as well to consider is adding filters to your searches. So again, this is something that people take for granted in general, but if you add all of these searches here, it allows people to search how they want to search. Some people are used to looking at like price low to high. Maybe they want to look at the most relevant to their search term, or even the most reviewed, so they can really check out what product they're buying. So by doing this, by adding these filters, you're really personalizing the experience to how that user wants to search your website. And that makes it much easier for the user to find what they're looking for and to even use your website. So that's something, again, that's very, very important. Also as well, take care never to allow the user to land on a zero results page, because that's definitely not good for conversions. Users are very, very likely to leave your website if they think that you don't stock the product that they're looking for. So for instance, in this example here, I've typed bath with 2 H's and I've hit a zero results page. Now, as a website user, I would assume, even if I didn't see my mistake, I would assume that this company doesn't stock my product, so I'd probably just move on somewhere else. So as you can see here, so even though they sell baths, if I spell it with 2 H's, it's a zero results page, and people are very likely to bounce off the website in that instance. Also as well, if you don't have an exact match, I would take measures, put measures in place that you can show suggested matches as well. So effectively, you're always trying to find a result for anything. So let me give you an example here. So for instance, on this store here, Alliance Online. So for instance, we know in the UK, there's a very popular supermarket called Tesco. So for example, if I was searching Tesco bleach, and obviously Alliance Online are not going to stock this. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I know nobody would probably even search for Tesco bleach on this website, but I'm just giving you the example. You could apply it to your own e-commerce store. So if somebody's searching for Tesco bleach, you don't want them to hit a zero results page. With that in mind, you can identify other bleach products that they may be interested in. So you're being intelligent by offering offering products that may be of interest to the user, and then obviously higher conversions through that as well. Also as well, robust typo error tolerance. So again, back to the like I explained here with the bad spelling. Imagine somebody. It's so easy to mistype something. So if I'm typing H of two H's, I mean, like on some websites, they're going to hit a 0 results, but you really don't want that to happen. So here you've got a system in place where that actually recognizes that the user is actually searching for bleach. So again, we're not going to hit a zero results page there. Okay, moving on. Oops. Autocomplete as well. If you want to save people time is of the essence in e-commerce, and anything that can speed up the process really can help people. Can help your site with conversions. So, for instance, here, if I type in light, you notice here how it's already started to give me popular suggestions, products in different categories. And also individual products all related to what I'm about to search for. Now, this will increase your conversions by allowing the user to really search much easier, much simpler as well. And it makes the user feel at ease and like they could easily buy from your website, which again always contributes to the conversions on your website. Okay. Make sure the search box is large enough for typical user queries. And again, I've chosen an example here. It's not the biggest search box, but this is pretty much sufficient for people, for a general search, maybe 3 or 4 words at maximum. Sometimes in some examples, they're very big, but I think something that would encompass that would hold around 3 or 4 words would be enough. And also as well, place a search box on each page. So what I mean by that is obviously the average search box is always in the header. But sometimes like if you're on a basket page, if you're on a checkout page, you never really know if somebody's going to make a last minute purchase or they're going to remember something when they're in the basket that they wanted to search for. So one thing I would definitely do is always have the search box on every page, even the checkout if you can, because you never know. You might be missing out on a sale there. And also as well, what I want to speak about is mobile search considerations. So as you know, using a mobile phone, on average, there's only around 1 to 2 products that'll be visible, whether that's side by side or one underneath the other. So you really need to take care about search relevance. You want the products that you really want to promote at the top, and you don't want like an unordered list that's not optimized. You need to make sure that the filters are easily accessible and collapsible. So for instance, the layered navigation at the top, you don't really want to have to make the user scroll through all the layers navigation just to get to the search results. So maybe you could have them as collapsible, and you want to make it a really simple interface as well. Imagine you've only got a small amount of real estate, and people also as well, some people have big, small fingers and they're not very accurate. So make the buttons and the text boxes big enough for inaccurate fingers. As you know, using a mobile phone, it's very, very easy to punch something in the wrong way, touch something in the wrong way. And also as well, it's especially with mobile, this also applies for desktop, but it's especially with mobile that you need to give the users options to change the search results. E.g., for example, like the grid view or the list mode. So the list mode is a little bit more detailed. Some people like to see a little bit more detail within their search results, or some just want to see it at a glance and quickly flick through them. So definitely give them the options at the top to be able to choose that way. And also as well, I wanted to talk about the future of search. Now, I don't know if it's anything that you guys anyone on the webinar might have thought about, but we got to think about the ways people are ordering these days as well. So first of all is voice search, which is within your website, so voice to text, but also the services like the Google, Amazon Alexa, Siri, etc. So you've got to really start to think about how people would say something rather than how they would type it. So there's some future considerations there because obviously all these technologies are becoming very popular. and definitely it's something we need to consider for the future. So basically, so here's the Magento search basics. By default, and to be honest, I want to give a little bit of a side note here. Magento 2.4, as we're making this webinar now, Magento 2.4 is released. However, for the sake of 99% of the vendors, we're going to talk about 2.3 downwards, because 2.4 has improved in the way that it searches by making Elasticsearch a sort of a minimum requirement. However, there's still a lot of problems with the default Elasticsearch, and that's why I'm going to talk about a little bit more, because it'll still be relevant. But also as well, Magento 2.4 is not fully, as we always know with Magento, it's not fully stable yet. It's only been released a couple of months ago. And I know only a handful of my clients are even thinking about migrating so far, because a lot of the extensions are not ported over to Magento 2.4. And it's probably going to be a little while for them also to move over, because there's some very significant changes in the framework. It's a major upgrade, to be honest. So basically, with the Magento Search Basics, it's structured on the product and attribute level. So you have to enable, so as you can see in the top of the screen here, you have to here you have to enable it for catalog search, or it won't show up. You can set it to default that way as well. So also as well, you have to manually do a lot of things yourself as an e-commerce store manager, like for instance making the search weight, and also as well the synonym management, which is a lot. It's really a lot of manual labor for your team. It can take a long time to build the synonym groups, the related synonyms. Also, as well as mentioned, making all the search weights of each product as well. And it really can take up a long time and a lot of time and effort that will go into this. And I'm going to mention some of the third-party solutions that will take care of some of this. Some of the solutions will take care of it for you. And I know Unbxd definitely takes care of this kind of stuff as well. So I'm not going to go too much into detail. However, I'm going to mention a little bit about the Magento default database structure. So by default, Magento is EAV, entity attribute value. So it basically separates each data set into different tables, and they're all joined together by an identifier. Now, this makes SQL search very slow in Magento by default, because SQL has to perform many joins to be able to even pull up one row of product information due to the EAV structure. On top of that, you can actually change to flat table, which will take all of the product information, for instance, into one row or into one table, should I say? So there's a lot less joins that needs to be done, and this is actually a faster way in Magento. The EAV, if anyone's wondering why Magento defaults to EAV, it's just coding standards, keeping all data types together. But still, there's still the disadvantages with some SQL as well, with self-hosted SQL, which I'm going to go on to now. So basically, with self-hosted SQL, which again, it might not mean nothing to some people listening to this webinar. However, let me explain. Self-hosted SQL is the default Magento option. Now, everything's running on the same server, SQL servers installed as well. It can be very slow. So if you've got a lot of traffic on your website, there's a lot of processing going on, and then you've got all the SQL searches all from one set of hardware. It can be slow if you haven't got an optimized server. Also as well, because Magento the databases are very highly relational, that again makes it slower. It doesn't necessarily apply to all e-commerce, but Magento specifically is highly relational. And again, we've already spoke about the database structure. So SQL can be very expensive as well, SQL search, because certain versions, for instance, like the Oracle license, PL/SQL, can be very expensive. And even if you don't have these versions of SQL, you need the extra hardware to really make like a fast site search on the website. So again, what's been done to combat that? There's no SQL search, which is non-relational. It's uncomplicated and it's a tableless structure as well. It's usually in the JSON format. Again, it's a little bit technical, so I don't expect you to understand. But basically allows for much tidier, much easier query searches as well. It's at a low cost. You don't need a separate SQL server like with SQL. And the way that NoSQL searches are performed is it's a search in files, which basically uses different services rather than SQL to search. Hopefully that wasn't too technical for anyone who's not a developer. Okay, so there's different ways to analyze your search traffic. Now, one way to do this is on analytics, and you can really have a look at what people are searching for. And I'm not really going to show you how to do it on the screen. I don't want to disclose the information, but I've got a screenshot here which is pretty self-explanatory. So you go onto the admin, which will be right around at the bottom on. Oops, sorry about that. Right here. So if you go onto the admin section here, if you've got analytics connected, and then it's on view settings. I'm not going to click into that because it's got the codes and stuff like that. So from the view settings here, you actually just simply turn site search tracking on. So that's a very easy way to start tracking the search terms on your website. This brings me on to what are your options. I'm not going to try and be a salesman of Unboxed, so I'm going to give you some different solutions here, and then I'm going to give Ram the opportunity to show you the Unboxed solution. So there's obviously Unboxed. There's a Sphinx solution, Elasticsearch, as we've already mentioned. This is sort of the Magento 2.4 have made that as a base, but as I believe, Unboxed can be an extra layer on top of that, or replaced by that, should I say, with their artificial intelligence solution. And I mean, the guys are really leading the industry in terms of artificial intelligence, because these other solutions don't really offer artificial intelligence. So there's also SOLR Search and Searchinize as well. Now, sometimes there can be problems with these types of services, and one in specific is Searchinize. So I'm going to share a little bit about an issue I've found before with customizing the Searchinize integration. Say for instance, if you wanted to add on a website, customers have to log in for the price. So if you want to add it to the sort of the search box here, log in for price, we found that very difficult on Searchinize. Now, it didn't allow us to do that, and that was a limitation that we really found. So yeah, so I'll give you the example here, but also as well, so hiding the price for non-logged in users. So if you're using like a full page search solution that shows all the products on a product grid, like for instance, on this example, imagine if you have a client, or you are a vendor yourself who wants to hide the price unless the user's logged in. Maybe it's a wholesale site that you don't want people to see the prices. This can definitely prove to be problematic with. It did prove problematic with Searchinize anyway. So also as well, if you have errors with some of these externally hosted search solutions, you've got no control how to fix it. So you have to wait for a support ticket. But I know some of the guys are very quick to respond as well. So I'm not saying these things are as a necessary, don't use external solutions. I'm saying it because I like to give both sides of the argument as well, as a sort of sitting on the fence as well. So anyway, so now we're going to come on to the Unboxed solution. Ram's going to give us a demo of the artificial intelligence engine that the guys host over there. So over to you, Ram. Thank you.
Presentation on search.
Thank you.
But I want to speak. I want to speak specifically on one point here, that it's not a very easy task for us to set up a search, and we are going to focus on this point for the rest of the webinar. Setting up a good quality search system can be a long and a cumbersome process with a lot of technical complexities involved. And moreover, the system has to be very capable enough to provide decent enough search relevance. And this is where Unboxed can help you out. With 10 years of experience, we are at a place where we have very capable AI models, which has been trained based on huge corpus of internal data. Using this, we have now built an extremely strong AI-based relevance engine where the quality of relevance is unparalleled. We want to use this to provide an easy, quick, seamless process for e-commerce companies to set up initial search system within 5 minutes. And this is what I'll be showing you, and this is how anyone can use this functionality to set up search on a Magento platform. Now, as part of the process, any user will have to land onto our website, click on a sign up link, feed in credentials for logging in. And as the first step, you will have to configure a site on Unboxd as a platform. Now, this will give you an access to a command center or a console to configure how search should work and further build on enhancing relevance. But for now, for creating a site, you will have to type in the name of your site, choose an environment, select your business vertical, choose the platform on which the site runs, which is Magento for now, and the language. We automatically identify the data center for you, and we also have the option to change it based on the location of the higher proportion of traffic. But for now, we'll be selecting Australia as the cluster and move forward. Let's click on proceed button. As you click on proceed, the system is trying to do a couple of things here. One, it is initiating certain search components like relevance engine and several backend services, which takes into the factor the vertical, platform, and the language that you choose. We have a large corpus of data on how the search relevance needs to function and needs to be in place. And the engine is using this strong learning to automatically set up the components. And this definitely solves for your cold start problem and you're much ahead in your core experience. Now that the site is created, let's move to the next step of the catalog engine. This helps in fetching the catalog from different sources, and it would be indexed in a way that the search system can respond quickly and accurately. We offer three choices here. One, you could upload your catalog via the platform plugins. We have one for Magento and one for Hybris for now, and we are in the process of extending it to other platforms. The second option that we have is Unboxd PIM. PIM is a catalog management system with an inbuilt ETL layer for transformations and conversions. You can use PIM as an option if you have catalog in hand, or if you have it hosted on any SFTP server, or if you have it on any public URLs. We also have the third option of Unboxd feed APIs to directly ingest the catalog. But as a user, you will have to adhere to certain file formats. This is mostly being used by our enterprise customers for now. But for now, for this webinar's purpose, we'll show you the feed ingestion through the Magento plugin. And for that, you can click on choose platform. You will see the plugins listed here and click on view install info. Now here, you'll have to follow two steps here. One is installation. You can install the plugin via Composer or by downloading it directly from GitHub. And by following the on-screen instructions, you'll be able to install it on the Magento platform. It's fairly simple. I already have a Magento server ready at my end with Magento plugin installed in it. Now let's go to the Unboxd plugin, and on the setup screen, you're trying to establish a bridge between Magento platform and Unboxd site here. And for this, all you have to do is copy the keys from the Unboxd console on the screen that you see and paste it in the respective boxes. So you see the authentication keys on the bottom, you copy it, paste it here, copy the API key, paste it, and the next is search the secret key. Once this is done, you can click on save config, and I think this is where your bridge is already in place. Now let's go ahead and go to the Unboxd catalog section to initiate the feed synchronization. Yeah, in this screen, let's go to the manual synchronization section and click on the synchronize button. This will initiate the synchronization from the Magento plugin to Unboxed search system. Let's also go to the indexing queue view to just check if the feed is in queue and is processed. Let's give it a couple of more seconds till it is processed finally. But I'll take this time to explain what the plugin is doing here. Um, it's currently trying to fetch all the data from the Magento DB. It's converting it into an unboxed JSON format. All the transformations, data correction, handling the schema, everything is being done by the plugin here. And plugin is first putting it into a indexing queue first, and then it's pushing it to the unboxed feed system. Let's check the queue once again. I think I'll refresh the page once more to just check it once. Yeah, I think the queue is done and already the feed is pushed to Unboxed. Let's go to the Unboxed console now. Now, I'll also talk a few more about the plugin that we are using. The primary philosophy of using the plugin here is that any business user can themselves set up the search in Magento, and all the heavy lifting of converting the catalog, enabling the search, creating a default UX, and integrating Unboxed search into a Magento web store is done by the plugin. So it's a all-in-one complete solution that we're trying to give for all our Magento customers. Now, I will also take this time to talk a few things about the Unboxed feed system. We have an entirely new feed pipeline that we built recently with a better infrastructure and capabilities. This has helped in faster indexing performance. And if I have to put a number to it, it can process around 10K products in a matter of a couple of minutes. And we know that this is a crucial step for any of our customers. We want to get the catalog information. And that's the reason why we have been constantly working to improve it. We also have a doc store set up in place, which has all the product data, and we only store the product IDs in the indexing layer. This helps us a lot in better feed processing times and better capabilities. We also support differential indexing, wherein the system will auto detect the change during the feed upload and update only the delta of the feed ingestion that you have done. I see that the feed indexing is in progress. Let's give a couple of more seconds to it. Now, once the feed is indexed, we'll move to set up the search relevance. Just need a couple of more seconds for this to happen. Yeah, you see that the feed upload is done here. Now that the feed ingestion is done, the next step for us is to do the dimensional mapping here. And the user has to map the catalog attributes to the unboxed dimensions fields here. This helps us in three aspects. One is to better understand the catalog and the schema. The second, this information is fed into our AI model so that the relevance is built a little better. It also helps us to build the final output to the user, which is a preview UI. It helps us to give a value-driven experience after we have set up the search relevance. We have around 23 fields that has to be mapped, and once that is done, you can go ahead and update it. Okay, now let's come back to the flow. With the dimensional mapping done, let's go ahead and set up the search relevance. And Yeah, here is where things gets really interesting. We have two ways where a user can set up the search relevance. One, an enhanced AI setup, which is a more improved version, wherein we'll be using the query data from the customers, and using that we'll infer the shopper's behavior and then set up the search. This is something that we are working on currently and we'll be launching out soon. But for now, let's look at the basic AI flow. Let's click on the proceed button to move to the next step. Now, what is happening in the background right now is that, as I told you before, based on the selection of vertical, platform, and the language, we already have a huge corpus of internal data based on which we have set up relevance for more than a couple of customers and a lot of customers. And the relevance engine is using that information to automatically add few relevance configs depending upon the selection that you have made. We are also scanning through the catalog and detecting very core aspect of the search experience, which are the searchable fields, facetable fields, the content relevance, and the auto suggest relevance. First, let's look into the searchable fields part of it. This is a very key aspect of the relevance, because catalog can have hundreds and thousands of attributes, and the efficacy of the search relies on detecting it intelligently. And this is exactly what has happened here. You can see that there are around 90 attributes here, and we have detected the highly searchable fields automatically. And if you see the product coverage, it's all 100%. We have automatically added certain weightages by default, but you can also go ahead and change few of them. Let's improve this weightage for title, maybe category path, brand, and I think color. Yeah, once done, you can save the changes. Next, let's move on to the next, which is facets. Facets is the ability to filter search results based on attributes. The option that you see on the left-hand side of any e-commerce website generally. We have detected a few attributes by default, but we have not enabled any of them. The user can enable them by clicking on Edit and clicking on Visible on website as Enable option. Let's enable for a few more. We have not enabled it because this can be like a personal choice for the different customers, and we don't want to interfere there. Now once this is done, let's move ahead to the content relevance section. This is the core and the meat of the entire relevance setup. As I've already told you a couple of times, we have the huge corpus data, and depending upon the selection that you have made on vertical and the catalog, you can see on the screen that we have managed to add around 28,000 synonyms, 250 concepts, 280 phrases, and 32 no-stem words. We also have added stop words by default, and also enabled spell check by default. Next, we want to go into setting up the relevance for auto suggest. Now, auto suggest are those query suggestions that you get on a search box when you just type in certain queries. You can select any of these templates and customize the relevance of the auto suggest by clicking on Customize button. We support around 6 types of suggestions, like the ones you see on the screen: keywords, infield suggestions, top query suggestions, promoter suggestions, etc. The engine has automatically detected few attributes and combination of attributes to add. And I'll give an example here. We have added colors plus category as an option, wherein you're just typing for red and you want to spell out or suggest the most prominent color plus category combination, which is red dress or a red t-shirt. You'll be able to do that. Now, let's save this configurations for autosuggest, and also apply the relevance configurations completely. Okay. Now, while the relevance configurations are getting applied, I want to put certain things into highlight. In terms of building search relevance and adding dictionary and content, you're already at a level which is above average with just a couple of clicks that you've already seen. I'll give you a few examples to substantiate in how good unboxed search is. Um, Take the examples of abbreviations. Now, if consider the shopper is typing in NYC shirt, and the unboxed search has the ability to understand NYC means New York City. It can also understand space variations. For example, on electronic store, the shopper is searching for a Wi-Fi router. Wi-Fi can be spelled as Y space phi or Y without space phi or Y hyphen phi for that matter. And irrespective of how you type it, the system will understand that you're searching for a Wi-Fi router. Even in case of spelling mistakes, which is key considering the fact that we have high traffic coming from mobile devices these days, and there is high chances of mistakes when you type from a mobile. Let's take another example here also. When if you're searching for adapter, whether it is adapter with a O or a E, Unbox will be able to treat it equally and give you the right results. We also have another example that I can talk about is hyponyms, where user searches for desktop PC. Unbox system actually understands that desktop PC means computers, because in this time of the world, computer is a general term that we use, and would be able to give out results accordingly. The relevance engine also has high-end capabilities like entity recognition and category predictions too, which is something that you'll be able to configure once you have the console and access, and you'll be able to uh, enhance the relevance engine configurations. Um, but for now, with this, we are done with the search relevance setup. And now I'll show you how the search unboxed search works. But before I show you the unboxed search, let's take a quick on how the default Magento search works. Let's try a couple of queries here. I already have a catalog in place, and I'm going to type in purse as the first query. So you can see that we were able to find, I think, 3 purses, and the rest of the products are irrelevant here. Let's try another query here, Ruby dress. Now, we are doing Ruby specifically because Ruby can be like an easy alternative for red. And you see that the default Magento search is not able to identify that Ruby means red, and it's showing a lot of dresses as results. Let's type in another query, maybe stilettos. You say that you get one result, and that's it. And that I think that one result even is not stilettos. Actually, it's a little sling back pumps that coming in. Let's try in joggers. I've purposefully made a spelling mistake here, wherein I've just added one G, and the Magento is not able to detect the spelling mistake here. Now, with these examples, now let's go to the unboxed console and preview unboxed results. We have a fully capable preview functionality built in within unboxed console itself to showcase the unboxed search results, which will give you like a value demonstration here as well, and you'll be able to debug results if you're going in using the unboxed console. And let's try the same set of queries here and see the difference. Let's go with purse first. We were able to find 3 results in case of Magento. I think we are able to find around 90 products all on purse using unbox search on the same catalog that we used. Now let's try Ruby dress now. Unbox system, as I told you, it has the capability of understanding that Ruby is a version of red and will show you results accordingly. Now you can see that we have got around 349 products all red in color, and we match it based on the query Ruby. Now let's try the next query, which is stilettos. In the case of stilettos, I think we were able to find two products which both of them were relevant. Here, let's see what Unboxed is able to do. We are getting around 357 products, all stilettos using Unboxed search. Now let's try the last query, which is joggers. Now, here again, Unbox is able to detect the spelling mistake accurately and is able to auto trigger the query for joggers, which is a good enough process. Now, with this and with everything set up and ready, I'll quickly show you how any user can easily integrate Unbox, and you can just follow the on-screen 3 steps to get it done. Let's right go to Unboxed, the Magento console, and go to the website config section. By the virtue of installing the plugin, we have already embedded our, okay, I think we have been logged out. Let's log in again. By virtue of installing the plugin, we've already embedded our search SDK and onto the storefront, and this helps us in integrating search, Unboxed search with a default Unboxed UI with a matter of just a couple of clicks. Let's just go to the search section and click on and enable it by selecting the yes option, and then save the config. With this, the Unboxed search gets added, and if you refresh the page, you will see the Magento default search gets overridden by the Unboxed search results. You can see the joggers coming into the picture now, and now the SDK is calling the Unboxed API to give results right now. You also have options to modify the UI template within the Unboxed console in the website configuration section itself, where we have exposed configs for you. And with this, I think the users can, this is all the user has to do in terms of setting up Unboxed in your platform. We have an early sign up access to try out this onboarding feature, and you can have a free trial for around 21 days. You can check out the chat section, and we have already put out the links for you. Over to you, Kyle. I think you can take it from here.
Hi. So some of the points I raised in the slideshow there are taken care of by Unboxed. So it seems like a really good solution, to be honest. Great solution, and it's only going to get better with the next round of investment that you guys, the work you're going to put into. Okay, guys. So again, sorry for the technical glitch at the beginning. Through us a little bit. I started the webinar without anyone realizing. But as always, we like to provide coupon codes for anyone who wants them. So I'll put them on screen here right now. They're on screen right now. And if anyone wants me to email them, just please email me at kyle@magecloud.net. And I'll send them over to you, or just take a screenshot now. You can get up to 25% off extensions. I mean, it's nothing like any referral fees. We just like to give these away to any webinar attendees as well. And thank you again for joining. Hopefully you learned a thing or two and seen a good solution for your search requirements.